Welcome back to our halftime feature with Adams State head coach Lewis Wilson. How has this year challenged you in some unforeseen ways throughout the course of the season?
Huh. 15 new players, very challenging for me, for our staff, for our team. When you have that many new people, everything, it's interesting. It's basketball's basketball, but each coach has their own terminology, like football. Mm-hmm. It's a language that these kids have not been exposed to. It's not that you're teaching concepts that are that different to them. It's that you are talking in a language that to a lot of them might as well be Greek, because they're things that they have not heard. And in basketball, it's a game of action.
Yeah.
And when you are not able to act and impose action on your opponent, you're a step behind, and it can make you a beat off of what you want to do. You're just one beat off the pace. And when you don't know, if I say to a particular player, I tell him to perform a skill set, and I use language that he cannot understand, there it is. And he seems like maybe he's not playing as hard as he should. Jerry Tarkanian had a famous saying that the more you put on a kid's head, the slower their feet become. And that's kind of where we're at when you have that many new people. So that's been the greatest challenge. We actually have a good group of kids. Beyond that, the newness of our team and the newness of staff, we also turned over our whole coaching staff in the assistants position. That's been the greatest challenge for us.
It's a young team, coach. This is a squad that's 7-5 right now, and for whatever reason, there's this belief that it's just not as great of an Adams State team as we've grown accustomed to. We heard athletic director Larry Mortensen say earlier this week that he had somebody come up to him and was asking about the struggles of Adams State hoops. This is a program that was 12-42 in the 2 years before you arrived. You won 70% of your games. Why are people never happy?
First off, I think that's a compliment to us, is that you go in to change a culture, the way you do business, and you go in to change a perception of what the product is. And when you create a perception that you have a successful product, when you are not meeting the standard that you have set, you can't have it both ways. Yeah. You can't whine about it. To me, that's the way it should be. People have come to expect our basketball program to be elite. And when we are not performing at an elite level, your fans become disappointed. Being a Yankee fan, I can relate to that. Now, I was born into championship glory with the Yankees, so my expectation is that my Yankees should win it every year, regardless of what happens. And that's what fans are. I don't know if you're aware, but the term fan is short for Fanatic. And the word fanatic means that you're not always of sound mind when you're dealing with your team. So I appreciate our fans and the expectations, because that's what we've created, and that makes me very proud. We are not underperforming. I think one of the central things you have to do when you're leading a program is not to allow outsiders to define your success, because we know what our reality is. Are we playing the best basketball we can play? No, not consistently. But what reason would we have to expect that we would if you're going to turn over your whole roster and your whole coaching staff? It takes time. But I want our fans to have high expectations. I want us to be perceived as elite. I like the idea that when Adams State men's basketball loses a game, someone says, what's wrong with Adams State, as opposed to, well, that's who we are.
You just learn not to take things personally. It's part of the business, right?
Well, it's not personal.
Yeah.
Losing, you feel personal, but it's not. They're not talking about your mom. They're not talking about your kids. They're judging the product that you put on the floor. And our fans, and I'm really happy for them. They've had the opportunity over the last 3 seasons to come to expect elite play. It has not been championship level as of yet, but it's been elite. It has contended for championships. So when they look up in the morning and Adams State is not even in the RMAC playoff picture, I think that's something they should feel angst about. Their coach feels angst about it, because you can't have it both ways. You want to build a championship team, a championship culture, then you're building championship expectations. And the fans, which is short for fanatic, as I am one of the Yankees and Steelers, then they have that expectation.
You always have great perspective, Coach.
Yeah, talk to my players about that.
It's Lewis Wilson with Adams State men's basketball. We'll check out the Grizzlies' second half action. Roadrunners, Adams State, after this break on KSPK.